Magical wisdom.
At coffee restaurant. The morning sun peeked through the tall buildings of the city as Sarah made her way down the bustling street. It was her favorite time of the day, early enough that the city still held a sense of calm before the rush, but late enough that the coffee restaurant at the corner was open. Sarah had been coming here every morning for years, drawn to the aroma of freshly brewed coffee and the warm, inviting atmosphere. The little coffee restaurant was tucked between a bookstore and a flower shop, its red brick exterior adorned with a sign that simply read "The Coffee Corner." Inside, the soft glow of hanging lights created a cozy ambience, and the chatter of early risers filled the air. The walls were lined with shelves filled with jars of coffee beans from around the world, and a large chalkboard behind the counter listed the day's specials in elegant handwriting. As Sarah pushed open the door, the familiar bell chimed above her. She was greeted by the sight of her favorite barista, Lucy, who was already busy at the espresso machine. "Good morning, Sarah," Lucy called out over the hiss of steaming milk. "The usual?" Sarah smiled and nodded. "Yes, please." "How's your morning going?" Lucy grinned as she expertly poured a shot of espresso into a ceramic cup. "It's been good so far. We got a new blend in today. It's from a small farm in Colombia. I'll give you a little sample to try." "Sounds wonderful," Sarah replied, taking a seat at the counter. She loved how Lucy always made an effort to introduce her to new flavors. It was one of the reasons she kept coming back, aside from the delicious coffee and the friendly atmosphere. As Sarah waited for her drink, she looked around the restaurant. It was a small space, but every detail had been carefully considered. The tables were made of reclaimed wood, giving the place a rustic charm, and the mismatched chairs added a touch of whimsy. A few regulars were seated at their usual spots. Mr. Thompson, an elderly man who always ordered a black coffee and a croissant, was reading his newspaper by the window. While a young couple chatted quietly at a table near the back, their hands intertwined, Lucy placed Sarah's cappuccino in front of her, along with a small cup containing the new Colombian blend. "Here you go, one cappuccino with a sprinkle of cocoa, and your sample." "Thanks, Lucy," Sarah said, taking a sip of the cappuccino first. The rich, creamy foam was perfect, just the way she liked it. After savoring a few sips, she turned her attention to the sample. The Colombian coffee had a deep, earthy aroma, and when she tasted it, she was delighted by the hints of chocolate and berry. "This is amazing. I think I'll have to buy a bag of this before I leave." "I knew you'd like it," Lucy said with a smile. "I'll set one aside for you." Just then, the door swung open, and a group of office workers entered, their chatter filling the room. They were regulars too, always stopping by on their way to work. Lucy greeted them by name, already knowing their orders by heart. Sarah admired how effortlessly Lucy handled the morning rush, never losing her cheerful demeanor. As Sarah continued to sip her coffee, a young woman entered the restaurant, looking a bit lost. She was carrying a laptop and a notebook, and her eyes scanned the room nervously. Seeing this, Sarah gestured to the empty seat next to her at the counter. "Are you looking for a place to sit?" Sarah asked kindly. The young woman smiled gratefully. Yes, thank you. I'm new to the area, and I was looking for a quiet place to work. You've come to the right spot, Sarah said. This is the best coffee in town, and it's a great place to get some work done. As the young woman settled in, Lucy came over to take her order. What can I get for you? I'll have a latte, please, the young woman said. And maybe a slice of that lemon cake. Coming right up, Lucy replied, her smile as warm as ever. The young woman turned to Sarah. I'm Emily, by the way. I just moved here for a new job and I'm still getting used to the city. Nice to meet you, Emily. I'm Sarah, she said. I've been living here for a while, so if you need any recommendations or advice, just let me know. Emily looked relieved. I might take you up on that. It's been a bit overwhelming trying to figure everything out. Sarah nodded sympathetically. It can be, but you'll find your way. This place is a good start. The people here are friendly, and the coffee is top-notch. As they chatted, Sarah felt a sense of satisfaction. She loved how the coffee restaurant wasn't just a place to grab a drink, but a community where people connected and supported each other. She finished her cappuccino and stood up to leave. I'll let you get to work, Sarah said to Emily, who was now focused on her laptop. It was nice meeting you. I'm sure I'll see you around. Thanks, Sarah. It was great meeting you too, Emily replied with a smile. Sarah paid for her coffee, picked up the bag of Colombian beans that Lucy had set aside for her, and waved goodbye as she stepped out into the bright morning. The city was waking up, and the streets were beginning to fill with people. But Sarah didn't feel the rush, she felt content, knowing that tomorrow morning, she'd be back at the coffee corner, her little haven in the heart of the city.